All right, we're looking at my Dodge today. Can't go relic hunt because I got an issue here. Check this out. This is my front right tire. I just jacked it up to inspect it. I was hearing a noise. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Check this out. I'm lucky this thing didn't come off going down the road. So today, it's going to be wheel bearing day. All right, I got the wheel off. And I've actually got my vehicle up in my shop, so I've got some shade. At first I was going to do this outside and in the driveway, and I was like, whoa, it's hot today. It's like 115 feel like temperature, probably about 97 degrees. Yep, that's enough to make you stop. All right, next step is removing these factory tabs, which you do not need them. I suggest you use some serious needle nose, some type of cutters, something you can pry it off with. Didn't give me that much trouble. There we go. See how that comes right off? That's that little piece they press on at the factory as it's going down the assembly line. Like I said, you don't need to put them back on, so on my truck there's only two. But I'll go ahead and get this one off, and then we'll get that brake caliper off. Okay, I'm on the, I guess what you would say the first step. I've got to take this brake caliper off. And you notice this is a two-wheel drive. I didn't see many videos on the two-wheel drive. Everything was set up for four-wheel drive. So hopefully this will go a little bit easier. So you're going to release these two bolts back here on your brake caliper. And I'm using a 1/2 inch, but I believe it's the correct wrench is a 13. Sometimes you can get away with using a standard on metrics. You know, you don't want to bear down on anything. You might strip something if you don't have the right size socket, but the 1/2 inch worked fine in place of the 13. So got both of these out. I'm gonna take, I got a little light under here too, and then I got my strip light over there, so I got plenty of light. What I like to do is keep all my bolts together, so I'm gonna go get a little plastic Tupperware thing to put them in, and we'll keep everything together. All right, I've removed the brake caliper. See, the brake's still here. And here's a little trick I use, which you can use a heavy-duty tie wrap or whatever you want, but they also make like a little hook you can buy from some companies. And what it does is you can hook your caliper from hanging, because see this hose back here? A lot of people just let it fall and dangle around, and what it does, it stretches this hose and it'll mess this hose up. So the best thing to do is hang it out your way in the back. I use a little copper wire I keep around the house and just hang it back here, and it'll be out of our way. Then we're gonna remove the shoes. spring fell off the bottom, but I'll put that back on and see. We have plenty of brake shoe. Rotors, could use a little turning, but they're not bad. We'll set this shoe right here. Point it like that as the outside shoe. And then we're going to remove the inside, the inner shoe. There's my little clip. And we'll just set it out our way. So now, we've got the caliper off. And we're ready to remove the caliper bracket now. Caliper bracket will have to come out of our way so we can pull this hub off. This rotor off, I'm sorry. We'll pull this rotor off. Alright. So what we got here is I have a socket on this caliper, and it's the caliper bracket, and it's a 21 millimeter. So that's what you're going to need to loosen them bolts. Now, I did go kind of extreme here with a breaker bar, but I was able to get just what I needed to get on both bolts without having to break out the impact. So, and really I probably could have got with a little bit shorter breaker bar. They were pretty tight, but I think you'd do fine with, you know, a regular one. You might have to whack on with a hammer a little bit, or just do it the easy way. If you got an impact that you can fit in here, you know, move your caliper over and fit an impact in here, that's definitely a way to go if you want speed. So I'm just out here kind of taking my time and knocking it out. So I'll go ahead and loosen these two, and then we'll remove this and see where we're at. You can cheat a little bit, just grab your socket, get a little bit more leverage, and just come on out with it on that caliper bracket, 2 bolts. Alright, the next step after you have the caliper bracket off is you see this wire right here? That's your ABS. So your ABS wire will go into the backside here. So you got a little slot right here. It just kind of fits in there, runs back behind control arm, upper control arm, and then got a little bracket right here that you can remove it from. And then there's one on this brake line here. And then there's another one at the frame. And then the plug should be right behind here. Pretty sure. Yep, there it is. You got your little red tab that you have to pull up to unplug it. So I'll get that next. Go ahead and start taking this apart. Alrighty. On these back bolts, there's 3 of them back here. You see one at the top, one that my ratchet's on, and the one next to it. And this is the way I got on them, with a 3/8 ratchet, 18 millimeter socket. You're gonna need an 18 millimeter. And then I took my little cheater bar, and was able to free them loose. They were tight, I'm not gonna lie, but you have just enough room to get this thing in there with a short socket. You want to use 6-point for sure. And that's the next step. And hopefully once I get these bolts out, we'll be able to pull this rotor off, and I'll probably be able to separate the rotor easier with it off. Now I'm not sure of that, but right now the brake rotor does not want to come off. I've whacked on it a little bit, but I'm going to take the whole assembly off and take a look. You just have to be careful when you go pull it out. Make sure you run your your ABS line don't get all messed up. But I believe the new one's going to come with a new ABS wire and everything, so I don't think I'm that much worried about it. But anyway, I'm going to be careful and gentle with it. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and release these 3 bolts back here I was talking about. They're hand loose now. I think this thing will just fall. It could just fall off. I guess I'll wedge my knee up in here and make sure it doesn't. That's one of the bolts. Put it over here in my bolt bucket. I'm the world's worst at losing stuff, so I keep everything in a little Tupperware. There's the next one. And then the top one. There we go. She's coming right off. So we may have this thing off here in just a second. So far I've had no big difficulties getting anything loose with the help of a cheater bar. It's been pretty easy. Alright, I think it's just going to come loose. Since I'm filming this and working with one hand, I'm going to stop the video and see if I can just pull it right off, and then we'll continue. Yep, she came right off. So didn't have to hit it, tap on it or anything, just gently tugged on it and it slid right out of its housing here. See all the dirt and stuff here. So now I'm going to remove this dust cover. Like I said, you got this ABS wire you want to run through it. And when you go back together with it, you want to make sure that you got the cover. Actually, it went like that, so your ABS wire will slip right back through that slot and route back up to the plug. So here's what I got now. Should be a little bit easier to knock this hub off. Hopefully I can put it on my fab table and get it off. But you do want to make sure you don't mess up your threads for your put your tires back on. You gotta be gentle with that. So let me take a look at this thing and I'll be right back with you guys. So far this is pretty simple job if you have some hand tools and a little knowledge, a little mechanical knowledge. It's not too bad. I think you can save yourself a lot of money than bringing it to a dealership. So we'll have a wrap up when I'm done, and I'll give you a rating on 1 to 10 what I think. Alright guys, I got the rotor off. And I'm going to try to remove that center bearing. And what I learned is if you take a 5-gallon bucket, it fits perfectly over it. You take your ABS, make sure you run your ABS wire down in the bucket so you're not pinching anything. And all I did was gave it a few whacks and it falls right out. So then you got your rotors unarmed, and the part that's bad is right here. So this is the bearings. So on a 2-wheel drive Ram, this is what you're going to have to deal with. So now we just need to see if the parts store has one, and we'll go back together with it just like we took it off. It was not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm back. Went down to my local Advanced Auto Parts. They were the best price for the new hub. Now, you can order these online and wait, you know, 3 to 5 days to get it. Tell y'all what I do. Advanced Auto Parts is great on matching prices, and also if you go online and you type in Advanced Auto Parts, you can find your nearest location. You can put in your vehicle, and you can do a search bar what you're looking for, and a pop-up will come on, and the pop-up will ask you if you want to save up to 30-some%. So, and all they ask you for is an email. So you put the email in, and the price of this went from $180, I think $189 to $130 something. So not too bad to get it, you know, within 10 minutes of needing it. So has CarQuest on the box, but it came from Advanced Auto Parts. Now, I'm a loyal AutoZone shopper. I like AutoZone. I buy a lot of parts from them. I like it, you know, getting the $20 after your 5th purchase, you know, so much. But on bigger parts, more expensive parts, it's always worth checking with Advanced Auto Parts if you're going to buy the part local and you're not going to order it and wait on it. So that's my little 2 cents on the parts. So let's get this bad boy together. Alrighty, before I even go any further, I just take a little light bristle wire brush, brass, and I just clean the dirt. And, you know, if there was any corrosion in here, you could just knock it out real quick. The one thing about this is it's made out of cast aluminum, so you do not want to put a file on it, any kind of file, because you could scar it. You could possibly mess it up, but it shouldn't be any problem going back in. Just running this wire brush around here, it's almost mirror clean now from all that dirt and stuff that was in there earlier. And then if you notice, on this finger, I've got some grease. Now, you can use multi-purpose grease or any type of grease, but this is some really good grease here. This is that black stuff I use in my boat, is synthetic. But anyway, that's just what I had at the time that I went to the shop and looked around up in my shop for some grease. I had a tube of this already open. So I'm just going to put some in here, and all that's going to do is just help slide it in easier, you know. You don't need a whole lot. But put some grease in there, and then we'll be ready. We'll stick this thing together, and we'll get the back bolt started. Get her trued up with the rotor here and the new bearing. All right, when putting the dust cover, brake shield dust cover back on, make sure that you've got your ABS sensor wire coming off at the square flange in your dust cover. Also, it's important, as this dust cover will go 2 ways, that the dust cover is facing inward. So face it inward, not outward, because it can go either way, and if you put it the wrong way, you're going to find yourself having to redo it. So just a little tidbit. Go ahead and see if I can't get the rest of these bolts started with my hand here. I've just got a socket back here with my hand. They're pretty easy going in. There you can see it coming through down there. Once you get them good and snug, that's when you want to get your torque wrench and go to town on them and get them down at 123 foot-pounds. That's where we're at right now. Alright guys, like I was saying a few minutes ago, you want it at 134 pounds of torque. So you don't have to have one of these fancy snap-on ones. You can use one that you dial in, like this one. And you just want to dial it in close. See the 130 there? You want to dial it into the 130. And if you've got a 1/2-inch torque wrench and you don't have a small one, you can use this adapter here, and that'll get you pretty close. But you know, a lot of people say torque's not important, but it is. You don't want your wheel to start coming loose or come off going down the road. So do things right, do them proper. Use the equipment. If you don't own a torque wrench, you can rent one. Alrighty, now I have my brake caliper bracket back on, so it's good to go. Got it all torqued down, and I also went ahead and got my brakes set, so they're ready for the caliper. And like I said, I didn't have a brake issue. Brakes are in great shape. I changed them not long ago. What I had was a hub issue. Hub was bad, making lots of noise. Alright, so I'm going to unwire my caliper here. Remember my little trick I showed y'all? I hung it over here so I didn't pinch my lines. I'm going to unhook it, and I'm going to use the famous tool for brakes, the big C-clamp. But what I do is I take the lid, little top off my brake fluid, just in case it pushes some back, and I'm going to depress my caliper so it slides over easy on my shoes. So that'll be my next step, and then we'll get these retainer bolts in through the little rubbers, and that'll be the next step. You can use anything between here with your C-clamp to depress both cylinders at the same time. Usually if I'm doing a brake job, I'll use the old brake pad and give her a couple turns here, and it will depress the calipers all the way back, so that when I get ready to stick them on my shoes here, I won't be struggling with it. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I'm just using a wrench right now to depress them at the same time. It's a little trick I do. See, now I've removed the wrench, and they're depressed all the way. Alrighty, she's done. You can see I routed my ABS, got it back in its place, routed it right where it's supposed to be routed. And that's really important, because you don't want your ABS wire rubbing on anything. And always make sure we wrap it up, it's right there where it came in before. So that's going to be perfect. Got my brakes all set. All I need to do is put a tire on it and give her a whirl. Alrighty, just finished doing the wheel hub, and I went for a test drive, and let me tell you, man, this thing drove like new. No noises. No more clicking, no more no more BS. So watch my camera. Got my wife's car back there. Oh yeah. Stop on the dime. Wheel bearing is fixed. The orange beast is back ready for action. And that's how you do a Ram front hub assembly. When you start hearing them noises on your Ram, that's what you want to do. Not bad. I rate it a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 of home project type things, doing it yourself. The key to everything is having the right tools to do the job. As long as you got the right tools, you can do just about anything. I've even changed motors out here, but I don't recommend that to everybody. I don't think my wife cares for it too much. But anyway, LaRelicHunter Ram front hub assembly done.